Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jake. Jake is from Ukrainian, but he lives in Spain. So let's see what Jake has to say. Enjoy the interview. So, hello, Jake. How are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
Very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
So, tell me, how was your day today?
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty slow. Just had some breakfast and took a little nap. Really becoming a Spanish person, taking a siesta.
Tell me where you're from, Jake.
Originally, I'm from Kharkiv, Ukraine. That's my hometown. I was born and raised there. And because of war, we had to leave Ukraine. And
Mm-hmm.
now we reside in Spain with my wife.
Wow. Oh, you and your wife in Spain right now. I
Yeah.
see. And how long have you been living in Spain for so far?
I think it's close to 3 years now.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah.
since you left your country, did you go back yet or not?
No, because if I come back, I won't be able to leave again, basically. Because, well, in Ukraine, all men has to serve in the army, and just leaving was really hard to prove.
I
And with every, like, even like, not even like every year, but like with every month, they make it harder and harder. So I think if I come back and try to leave again, they will say no. So
I see. I see. Oh wow. And when you left your country, Spain was a country that for you it was a choice of how Spain came like for you at the time.
we actually never like even considered Spain as a country to live in. We always wanted to try and move somewhere. I guess the war was just like a catalyst to make it happen. But if it wasn't, maybe like in a couple of years we would have made our own move. Initially, I wanted to go to Germany because that's
Mhm.
where my sister and mother are.
Okay.
Yeah, they also like left when the war started, and that's where they settled because Germany has like a lot of great help to refugees and stuff.
I
And
see.
I also want to be a pro wrestler. Well, I mean, I am a pro wrestler, but I also want to wrestle more and stuff. And Germany is like one of the premier European countries for wrestling
Wow.
after the UK, actually. But UK is not like part of European Union, but it's still Europe. So
I
yeah,
see.
yeah. But my company that I worked at the time, they said that Germany is too expensive,
Mhm.
and it's international company, but they said they don't really have a lot of like engineers working in Germany. So they were like, we will give you a list of countries for engineer of your level that you can live in. And because my
Wow.
wife is a freelancer, she doesn't really care. And when we were like looking at the list, we were like, oh, okay, Spain sounds interesting. Why not? And I think we made a really good choice because I really like the country. I like the vibe. I'm also like a super lazy person, so I don't mind taking a couple of days of like waiting and stuff. Like, yeah, I know sometimes people complain like, oh, like something broke and the technician doesn't come because I don't know, he just canceled or just didn't appear. But I'm like, I'm okay. I don't mind
Oh,
waiting.
I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that, I'm sure for you wasn't easy to leave your country at the time, of course, and for the reasons as well. I think I'm sure just who goes through that can understand and can explain because when you hear, for example, you say now, of course, I understand and I feel how sad can be, but I'm sure in your skin, the place you are, I'm sure is a different story. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for being so open, talk about it.
No
So
problem.
where's about in Spain you are based?
It's a small town near Malaga, in an Andalusian region. And we actually chose, and everyone always like, when Spanish people heard that we live in this small town, they ask why there. And we
Uh-huh.
are like, well, we came in the middle of the summer. And because the summer is like the season for Spain, So finding a place to live in Malaga or just any other like bigger town, it was like almost impossible and
Wow.
very expensive. And the move wasn't also very cheap. So we were like, okay, we need something, affordable. And the realtor guy, he was like, yeah, there's like this small town. Um, it's like very affordable. And we were like, okay, yeah, we don't mind. But to be quite honest, I like this small town vibe even better.
Mhm. Yeah.
And not because just it's affordable, it's just like a really nice little city. But also, what's super cool about it is that when we moved here, we actually didn't need to even like go to Malaga to do like all this like bureaucracy stuff with our like living permit. So like we
Yeah.
could do it here, which you can't really do in many of smaller cities.
I see.
And so yeah, and we love it here. We already found some friends, and it's been
Easy.
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. I'm glad that, besides the situation in your country, you kind of find your way and your wife as well, and you kind of are living now and, enjoying this new, I would say, opportunity that was presented for you, and somehow you are, adjusting yourself. I just hope in the future, things get better and you guys can make other decisions and, somehow go back to your country as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you are engineer then?
Yeah, I was initially I was just working as the like tech support when
Okay.
when I was like finishing the university, I needed to find a job,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend was hiring. He had like a poker website, and they just needed some people to provide tech support. And I
Uh-huh.
thought, okay, they pay nice and it's flexible hours, perfect to to coincide with university. Then they closed because the website was basically scamming people of money. Unfortunately, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and
oh,
after that, I found a different company and somehow ended up working there almost 10 years, like
wow.
7 or 8. Always thought like, okay, this is just temporary, this is just temporary. And like everything in life, nothing
I
is more permanent than temporary. So
absolutely.
yeah, but then I finally got burnt out a bit on it, and I was like, okay, I need to change stuff. So I decided to try and become a systems engineer, like
Mhm.
a DevOps.
I see. And okay, so let's start the interview talking about your journey as a wrestler. Yeah, I was checking some of your videos. I could see some of your work over there. So tell me how your journey started as a wrestler.
So like I saw wrestling as a kid on a videotape, and it immediately captivated my imagination. And for as long as I remember myself, it was one of the things that I always wanted to do. But in Ukraine, there was no really any kind of wrestling at all. Like,
Uh-huh.
and at the time in the neighboring countries, there were no as well. Like nothing was happening in Poland. Well, maybe there was, but it was like super niche. Um, so it just started like as a what they call backyard wrestling. We just went with the friends to like in the winter. It was at the snow. Started practicing moves,
Uh-huh.
then we started doing it at the gym, like and all the stuff. But like eventually in 2011, not only we found the person who had the ring, well, he basically found us, and he's like, okay, I will build a ring, and we will do some wrestling. Um, that's how it all started in Ukraine. And also that year, I actually found a guy in Belarus who was also starting like his own wrestling promotion, and he actually knew like a lot of wrestling stuff, so he was like my formal trainer.
Wow.
And he even like worked with the Japanese companies. He brought in like a Japanese guy to like observe us, and they even like had a working relationship. He went to Japan. So yeah, that's how it all started. And basically, actually, it was recently like Facebook reminded me that in May of 2011 was the first wrestling taping that we had in Ukraine,
Wow.
and the match that they released was my match, and it was billed as the first Ukrainian pro wrestling match. So
Wow. What a moment to remember for
yeah,
sure. Wow.
Yeah, so you can like everyone tells me like especially the younger guys in Ukraine now they're like, oh, Jake is like the legend and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, no, come on, I'm not. I'm just old enough, and I was just there at the beginning, but I'm not like a legend.
Don't be modest, okay? Don't be modest. Don't need to be modest, okay?
Well, yeah,
Amazing.
I'm very self-critical, so that's all. That's all right.
Okay, Jake. So during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey so far. Okay?
Mhm.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Of random questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question. Okay?
Mhm.
Just do it. Okay, so before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that you don't want to answer, you don't want to talk about, always can change. Okay?
Mhm.
Right. First question is, what makes you most proud?
Hmm. Well, I think it is my wrestling career, but it's funny thing when it comes to like what exactly I'm proud of. It's not even like usually stuff that I necessarily did. And it's also like kind of funny, maybe kind of weird story, but I always like to tell it. So there was this match that we booked, and it had like two guys. And the stipulation of the match was that every 2 minutes they had to take a shot of tequila. and uh, and to be quite honest, it was just like very funny match. I saw it like in American wrestling a long time ago, and I thought it would be cool idea to do it. And one of the things that I'm proud about this match in particular is not only I got these two guys to wrestle in this match, but I also convinced them to finish the match in the snow. Like, so we had the venue inside, but outside it was like minus 40 Celsius degrees. It was like
Wow.
snow. It was like middle of January, and I was like, if you come outside, like it will be just the perfect finish for the match. And they were like hesitant at first, but then they were like, okay, let's take our first shot before the match even started. And I guess it helped. And they're like, okay, we will finish it in the snow. And yeah, of course, when we went
Oh,
outside in this super cold weather, everyone was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I'm kind of, kind of proud that I seduced them into this idea. And later they agreed that it was a cool idea.
wow. I agree with you. I think those memories in life, it's just about making memories, about doing your passion, and at the same time connect with people, somehow connecting, have a moment there. And again, the memory is gonna always gonna be there. That's why it came to your mind straight away.
Yeah, because it's like it was just fun, like not only it was like pretty unique thing to do, like the guys drinking real alcohol during it wasn't like, like sometime like a lot of things in wrestling they like try to like do
Mm-hmm.
like, well, not fake, because wrestlers hate the word fake.
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
they try to stage it as much as possible, but because we didn't care as much and they wanted to do it like legit, they had like the real alcohol. So it was, yeah, it's one of the matches that I always like to show people because it's just, like just the idea of it is like so outrageous, like drinking real alcohol and stuff. And
I
even
see.
the referee, he took a shot with the boys during the match. I think maybe even like once or twice. So
Oh,
yeah, it was all of the people who watched the match in person, they were like, just it was the best match that they ever seen.
amazing. Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Jake from Ukraine. Next question is, what's your idea of a perfect day?
Okay, so I think my idea of the perfect day is wake up not from the alarm,
Mm-hmm.
maybe cuddle with my wife a little bit while we're waking up,
Oh, sweet.
Then, yeah. Then eating a tasty breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it involves like some kind of scrambled eggs or just fried eggs for me, and anything else. Then I would probably like to go for a walk
Yep.
and just either enjoy a new city or enjoy the already familiar city. Then after the walk, maybe take a lunch, and by the evening, maybe like play some video games or just watch a movie, just like super relaxed stuff. And
I
I'm happy to say that we do have quite a few of these perfect days for me because we
agree.
always try to, take it laid back. And just like recently, we returned from like a small trip. We went to
Uh-huh.
see my family,
Mm-hmm.
and during the trip and on our way back, we stayed in Paris, and we had days like that where we would just wake up, have a nice breakfast, and just go for a walk and
Well,
explore. So
as
yeah.
I can as I can see your eyes shining talking about your wife, tell me so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from her?
Hmm. I think that most important lesson that I learned from her is, huh, that's actually a hard question. And I never thought about it. I think from her I just learned to be, more stubborn, I would say. She's a very stubborn person, and with her I feel like just learning that from her, that sometimes you just need to, go go hard on some things. I think that would, if there's anything that I can really take from her, that would be it, is to
Oh, very
stick
sweet.
to, yeah.
Very sweet. And besides your wife, which person in your family you feel more close to or more connected with somehow?
Hmm. Well, I think it would be my sister.
Uh-huh.
I have a couple of sisters, but
Okay.
I think the my she's both of my sisters are older,
Uh-huh.
and one of them is the oldest, and there's a middle one. So I would say mostly with the middle one, because
Okay.
she's always like the most open person in our family. She also spent like a lot of time with me when I was a kid, so it's always
Oh,
like I know that I can always like tell her everything as it is. Even though like we can go like to stretches where we don't really like talk for a while, but eventually like it's always like okay, I can
okay.
always like talk to her whenever I want to.
Okay, so your sister, she's watching this interview right now, and you have a moment, an opportunity to send her a message. What would you say? You can say Ukrainian first, and after you can translate in English if you'd like to. She's watching.
Uh well, she probably not gonna watch because she doesn't know English, but
That's why you can say Ukrainian first, and after you can say in English.
yes. Олена, я дуже тебе люблю, і не думай, що тому що ми не завжди розмовляємо, що я якось забуваю тебе чи щось інше. So basically what I said is that I love her, and for her not to think that even though I'm not the first one usually to call and stuff, I don't like forget this.
Oh, sweet. A good goosebump down my arms. My God, it's beautiful. Send my regards to her, okay?
Yep.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, before the next question, tell me a little bit about your city back in Ukraine. What's the name again?
Kharkiv.
How far is from Kiev, the capital?
I don't remember the exact like how many kilometers it is, but it's
Mhm.
like if you take an express train, I
Yeah,
think it's like 5 hours,
I
5 hour
see.
ride.
I see.
So I mean, it's a decent chunk of
Okay.
distance.
So tell me a little bit, tell me something interesting about your city. Tell me something that stands out compared with Ukraine. Something interesting about your city you could share.
So what I really love about my hometown is that even though it's considered like a big city, I think it has like 1.5 or maybe like even closer to 2 million people.
Hmm.
It still somehow feels like this home, like a little town. Like
Right.
there's even like saying that Kharkiv is just like a big village because I think everyone knows everyone.
Hmm.
I'm probably like there wouldn't be a single like I would sit at home and then decide like, okay, I will go either downtown or I go to this part of the city, and whenever I go, I will at least see one familiar place,
I see.
familiar face. I'm sorry.
I see.
So yeah, it's always like meeting someone everywhere, and as I've said, yeah, it's a big city. We have like an underground, like so it's like
Oh, oh, it's a big
uh,
city.
yeah, yeah, but it still feels small enough that you don't really feel like it's like this huge city.
I see.
I think most of it is like a lot of it is residential areas, but
Uh-huh.
the downtown is really nice, and the downtown is actually not that super big. Like if
Uh-huh.
you want to like see all of it, I think you can just spend one day and you can really see all of the downtown.
I see.
But it's still cool.
Amazing. Okay. Next question is, if someone offered to tell your future, would you accept it or not? And why?
Uh, I think I would, just because I'm very curious person, and I think just I don't know, just knowing it maybe helps me to prepare for what's gonna happen.
Wow. And another question relate to this one. If the same person have an envelope, yeah, with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not?
I would definitely do that
Oh my God.
because yeah, because I'm kind of like I don't know, maybe I'm like kind of afraid of death or something, but like
Uh-huh.
uh if someone would have said to me like you can become like live an eternal life, I would definitely agree. I know some people have like philosophies of like, well, then all of my loved ones will die and blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to sound like cynical or awful, but for me it's like, okay, but you can find new ones or stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, just I just I just enjoy life so much that I don't want it to end. So if I would know when I would die, I think I would be able to like take most out of it. Maybe I don't know,
I'll
but
tell
my initial reaction is like, yeah, I would definitely do it.
you know what, Jake, I'll be very tempted, but I'll be so scared. I don't think I'll be able to open. I'll
Yeah,
be
that's
like,
true
I'll be like,
because
I'll be like holding, like I want to see it, but I said no, 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 I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. Say that.
yeah, but it's also like, okay, if you know when it's gonna happen, it's like
Yeah, yeah.
maybe you plan too much and then
I
you won't be able to do everything and you will regret even more.
I know
So
it's a trick question because it can take so long and you can do a lot, but suddenly imagine it's very scary.
yeah,
Saying
yeah,
that, what's the
absolutely.
meaning of life for you?
I think the meaning there's no like real, meaning of life. Like
Hmm.
every person needs to find what is the life for themselves,
Yeah,
and they define the meaning for themselves. That's
yes,
what I usually like. That's
I
what I
see.
usually think and say to people. So, but for me, the meaning of life is just taking the most out of it. Like,
Yeah,
be it enjoying my time with the wife, or going like to wrestling events, or playing even like video games. It's just because I have like fun doing it. I
uh-huh.
don't feel like I'm wasting it. And for me, it's not even like, accomplishing something like, I don't know, like getting a car or getting a house
Yeah,
or something. For me, it's just getting the enjoyment, I think.
I see. Okay, 3 questions left. Let's do it. You like dancing?
Not really.
My God,
Sometimes I can.
my God, you are a wrestler. You should be enjoy dancing. I'm joking.
Well, when I'm in the character, I can do all kinds of stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
this weekend, I actually made my wrestling return. I hadn't wrestled since I left Ukraine.
Oh wow,
So, yeah.
amazing.
And on the first day, it was like a 2-day show. On the first day, I had a tag team match. And my tag team partner, I saw him for the first time.
Wow.
Uh, he's from north of Spain. His name is Gabriel Villas.
Uh-huh.
He's a really nice guy. I think we hit it off right away. Like just
Oh,
our views on wrestling are similar, and he's just like I just really like the guy, and I told him like, hey, when we go outside, maybe like when I'm in the character, I usually like do something in spur of the moment. And one of the things that I did was I just came over to him and I kissed him on the lips in front of the camera. Because, and I explained it to him later. I'm like, I just felt like it would show the camaraderie that we have, and people will think that we are really
Wow,
a tag team.
I love it.
And I wasn't planning it. I just felt like it was needed at the moment, and I went for it.
Love
So
that. I love that. I think sometimes when you do something very spontaneous, that's what people like to see. That's why it's spontaneous, it's natural. You know what I mean? And you just follow
yeah,
your instinct, and you didn't hold yourself, just did it, and that's what I like
yeah,
about
yeah.
people. Absolutely. Okay. Next question is: what does success mean to you?
Mm, I think success means for me, uh, my just personal like when I can reflect on things later and
Hmm.
feel like, okay, this was like something that I did that I'm proud of,
Yeah,
and if I'm proud of it, then I think it was a success.
I see.
So yeah, it's all about reflection. It's probably not like an instant thing, but more of
Mhm.
like later. Like you look at it and think, okay, yeah, I did that. It was a success.
Totally. I think success is very personal. For some people, success can be it can mean so different things. Some people, means wake up earlier than usual, do something more active than usual, buying a very expensive car or earning
Hmm.
better money or just be more relaxed. It doesn't have a meaning. I think everyone have their own meaning of success for sure. Totally get your point. Saying
Yeah,
that, what's the
absolutely.
biggest joy of being Jake? What do you like the most about being you?
I think I think it's just taking life easier than most people, I guess. Just
Yeah.
not like crushing myself with thoughts of like, okay, I need to do this to always like be this person or something. I'm more of like, okay, even if I don't have like this job, I can always work somewhere else and stuff. So just just take it easier. That's I think that's the key.
Amazing. Two questions left. Let's do it. How do I say two questions left in Ukrainian?
Два запитання залишилось.
Oh, say again?
Два запитання залишилось. Тобто,
To
I'm
what?
sorry.
To
So,
what? Okay.
два запитання залишилось. Two
To,
questions left.
okay, I'm not going to try. Let's do it. Two questions left. Before the next question, tell me what Spain has taught you so far, besides the siesta.
um, I think I think that Spain taught me to enjoy cold weather more. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss it sometimes because in the summer it becomes like super hot, like unbearably hot. But also here in Spain, I really learned to enjoy olive oil, and
Oh,
I just
really? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like I mean, usually we would use it just in like salads or even like to fry something. But here, people they would pour olive oil on everything, especially on the bread. They would put some spices in it, and you would eat it. And maybe it's just the local olive oil that's really cool, but I think we started eating it much more. So um, yeah, cold weather and olive oil.
And when you think about back in Ukraine, what's the most traditional food that is it's difficult for you to find or to make it, or for you since you've been away, what's like the most favorite traditional food back home?
Um, I think one of the hardest things to find or to make is the garlic bread. Like it's called pampushka, which is kind of like I don't think it can be like really translated, but sometimes if you want to say that someone is fat, but like in a loving way, you can call them pampushka.
Pampushka,
But it's
like
basic.
That's easier for me to say, pampushka.
Yes. It's kind of like this. It's not even like it is bread, but it's not like bread that you cut into slices. It's like 5 or 6 buns
Uh-huh.
together. They are like kind of sticky because they have a lot of garlic on it, a lot of greens, a lot of oil, and it's just not really sold anywhere. And to bake it, you need to know how to bake bread and stuff. But like in
Uh-huh.
Ukraine, they really know how to do it, and like the more garlic, the better.
Wow.
Um, yeah, one of the other things is I don't think the cottage cheese here is as good because
Right.
in Ukraine, cottage cheese is like there's a
The
lot of it, and it's really good.
uh-huh.
Like just even like I remember when in Ukraine we went to the gym, and one of the things that we would eat if we wanted to eat something before going to bed, it would be cottage cheese because it's low fat, it's good for you, and it's light enough for you to go to sleep like an hour
Uh-huh.
after you ate it. And here it's just not the same.
I see. Okay. Next question for you is, if you won the lottery, what would be your first big splurge?
Uh, I think it would be a big house for everyone to live in. Like
Oh,
I would definitely buy a house that would be able to accommodate me, my wife, maybe our future kids if we ever decide to get to 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 have some
uh-huh.
for my in-law, for my mother-in-law, for my mother, for my sister, and
Oh,
everyone. And obviously, I would get quite a few dogs if we had such a big house.
oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Amazing. Last question. Ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Last question. Okay, before the last question, tell me so far what wrestling has taught you.
Hmm. Well, I think it taught me quite a lot, but um, hmm. I think one of the things that it taught me is that you need to be a good person. I think
Hmm.
that if you're really a good person and you don't get stuck up in the drama or you don't, talk about someone behind their back, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's
um,
okay.
yeah, so I think as long as you're a good person and you're genuinely good, you don't like just lie into the face of the person, like I think it will get you to places because basically when I came to Spain, I was like, okay, I don't know anyone here. And when I started looking just to find where to wrestle, no one was really like saying, yeah, of course, come wrestle for us or something. A couple of people, they were nice enough to say, hey, yeah, you can come and train with us. And
Wow,
after, we will see. And of course, I was like, yeah, it's actually perfect because I haven't done it in a while. And just coming to training and talking to people and just, be very appreciative, it
amazing.
really opened the doors. So yeah, I think that's the thing that I learned over the years. Like just be a good person. It will show and it will get you somewhere in life.
Amazing. And the Spanish people, they're so friendly. I was in Spain actually. I just got back. I was last week. I was on holidays in Gran Canaria, and I just came back. And I was
Oh
talking to a
nice.
friend over there. He's from there. I'm originally from Brazil. And in Brazil, we have this approach as well of very welcoming, this and that. And but when I was in Spain, I remember like going to buy like this sandwich, and the lady, she was such a she the way she was talking to me, my god, I felt so warm. I said, my god, it's a reminder how people can be so friendly, so welcoming, and she was literally busy, but she looked in my eyes. She was like, what would you like to have? How can I help? And I said, oh, I'd like this tuna sandwich. She was like, it's the best sandwich we have. And she was very excited about it, and I was like, oh my god, it makes such a difference for you when you go to a place and people, they are so friendly and so welcoming, and I'm sure you know very well. So I think that's how we realize how life, how people can be so beautiful and so interesting and welcoming as well. It makes a difference, make us smile, not just outside but inside as well. makes you feel great, makes you feel like, my God, makes you feel special. I'm sure you felt special as well when these people, they literally just like took you, like, you know what, train with us. You are here. I think that's the best example of that for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the similar moments I had in Spain was actually during the very first time that we arrived. We stayed in Barcelona for a couple of days, and we came out to get some breakfast and to get
Uh-huh.
some coffee. And I remember we sat down in this just small local cafe,
Yeah.
and the guy he barely spoke English,
Oh,
and my wife she ordered coffee with milk and ice, and he brought her the coffee with milk and the ice in a separate glass,
yeah.
and she looked at it like super puzzled because like everywhere that we've been to, you would all like if you ask for it they will just serve you the coffee and ice will be already inside, but he brought
Oh,
it like this, and she was visibly puzzled, so he started like he didn't like laugh, but he like smiled and he said that's how Spanish do it, and he showed
ah,
her.
oh,
Yes,
that's
and he
sweet.
showed her that you take your coffee and you pour it in, and
I got
it was
goosebumps.
just such a fun.
Imagine how amazed for you to arrive in a country where you're gonna live, and suddenly it's like a welcome to you. It was like you're welcome to our country. The way they said, even without knowing, I'm sure he didn't know that you're just arriving to stay, and
Yeah,
suddenly,
yeah.
it's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
People there,
yeah. He was just, just super nice. He's like, oh yeah,
yeah,
let me
yeah.
do it.
He was
Let me
just being
show you.
himself. Yeah, that's great. Oh, sweet. Next
Yeah.
question is: tell us about your guilt pleasure.
My guilty pleasure. Like every time some people ask me about it, I'm not really guilty about my pleasures. Like even like just growing up, I was always like, hey, yeah, I'm a nerd. I love wrestling. I love video games. I'm 34 and I don't care if you think that I shouldn't be playing video games, for example.
Uh
So for
huh.
me, I think I don't really believe in guilty pleasure because I have nothing to be guilty of
I love
if I
it.
like it. But I think the closest guilty pleasure for me would be listening to pop music in the gym. Growing up, I was always like a metalhead, but when I became like maybe like 25, 26, I started like, okay, I don't need to, limit myself only to be like this only
Right.
to listen to this kind of music. And I started to branch out, and just for some reason, when I started going back to the gym this year, I just started sometime, not every time, but sometimes I would turn on like, I don't know, like what's her name? Oh my God, Selena Gomez, and just
Okay.
start from there. And it would be just, the weirdest. Like if you would look at me working out at the gym, you would never guess that's what playing in my headset. So I think that would be the closest of the guilty pleasures that I have.
Beautiful. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. Let's
Mhm.
start with money.
Wrestling gear.
Okay. Fear.
Death.
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Love.
Life.
Entertainment.
Religion.
Mm, don't believe in it.
Okay. Love.
Just small moments.
Okay. Politics.
Hate it.
Okay. Sex.
Enjoyment.
Okay. Friendship.
Entertainment. Enjoyment. Love.
I
Everything
see.
positive.
Desire.
I'm sorry.
Desire.
Desire. Wrestling.
Of course, of course. Regret.
The past.
Success.
Success.
Yeah.
Money.
One word for wish.
More time.
One word for happiness.
Um, More time.
One
More.
word for one word for Spain.
Laid back.
One word for Ukrainian.
Resilient.
I like that. Amazing. And the last one now, wrestling, one word.
I belong.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee, yeah? And I'm going to ask her, define Jake in one positive and one negative word only. What she would say?
I think the positive she would say loyal,
Okay,
and for the negative she would say worries too much.
big word.
Yeah, yeah. I think for as much as I try to be laid back and take it easy, I'm also like a huge overthinker.
I see.
Uh, so yeah, that's probably my biggest detriment, one of my biggest detriments. But loyal is just, like if I have my friends, wife, and stuff, I stick to
Mhm.
them very
What's
hard.
your what's your star sign astrology?
It's Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. So you are December, January, December,
Um, Late November.
late November. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you something now. Sagittarius, they are considered the biggest hearts compared with the other star sign astrology. Did you know that?
No, I,
Yeah.
I'm not big into astrology, so
Yeah.
I didn't.
There we go. Yeah. My first one is Scorpio. My second one is Sagittarius.
Hmm.
Right. Let's
There
play.
can be two.
Yeah, so the first one is the date when you're born, and the second one is the time when you're born. So it makes a difference.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. So
I see.
I'm November 17th of November, so I'm still Scorpio. And Sagittarius is your second one. I was born midday, 12 o'clock. So
Ah,
that it's easy for you to do now. When you go, if you go online, you can put the time, everything. It shows you. So yeah, I don't understand much about astrology, but I'm a bit interested about it, and I like about people's personality regarding that. Amazing.
I see.
Let's play now, Jake, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before you ask me the question, tell me three names of three big wrestlers that you always be inspired by. Three names.
Mick Foley,
Okay.
um, Kevin Steen,
Okay.
and Super Dragon.
Okay. So one day you're gonna wake up in the morning with three missed calls on your phone for those three you just mentioned right now. Which
Mhm.
one you call back straight away? Which one you send a message, I call you back later, and the third one you don't call back, you don't send a message, just go like, I can talk to him another time. Tell me.
Okay, I think I would definitely call Mick Foley right away.
Okay.
Um, just because he's like such a positive person and he's been doing it for so long, and I just wanted to, he's like one of the people whom I want to meet one day. So definitely would call him. I would probably message Super Dragon next, just because he's like a very kind of like mysterious person. Like he wasn't like a huge star, but he's like pretty known between like the hardcore fans. So it
Okay.
would be just like interesting to talk to him, and maybe don't call back right away or at all to Kevin Steen, just because he's like at the top right now. So
He's
I
too
feel
busy.
like
He's too busy.
and I also feel like there's enough time, to meet him later, maybe. So
Cheeky. You are very cheeky.
yes.
Okay, Jake, you can ask me a question now.
Okay, so if you had to inspire, Jesus Christ, if you had to describe yourself by comparing yourself to a fictional character from either a movie or TV series or a cartoon, who would it be?
Oh my God, such a great question. My God, I had like over 1,000 interviews on the show with people around the globe, and I don't think no one ever has asked me this question. Oh wow, I love it. Okay, so my God, you put me in the spot now. I love movies. I love watching movies. I'm a big fan of the Marvels. My God, you literally put me in the spot right now. Um, okay, I'm gonna answer that based on my friends, close friends. Um, uh, uh, opinion. Yeah, for example, and it's gonna be a female character, but not because I chose, just because my close friend said William. I have four, like three friends. We are four, like we were very close. We kind of, we enjoyed. We kind of had the same way of seeing life, this and that. You know, have
Mhm.
seen the series Sex in the City? Right. There are
Yes.
four ladies, yeah. And
Yes.
I mean, I knew about the series, but I wasn't watching before, and they loved it. So they always was comparing with the things. And I started watching as well a little bit. So have you watched it before? Okay,
Uh-huh.
so before
Well, not only I watched it before, we actually rewatching it with my wife for a
okay.
second time.
Oh,
So
amazing, amazing. So before I answer, tell me which one do you think I would be very like comparing. And of course you don't know me well, but just like by talking for the last 40 minutes, tell me like between four of them, which one do you think they chose me to be?
I think you are either Samantha or Charlotte. I think.
Oh my God, you are very good, Samantha, straight away. They told me, William, you know, because I'm very open-minded, I'm very understanding, you know what I mean? I'm Scorpio, and Scorpios, I told you about astrology, we are very sexual as well. So they told me,
Mhm.
William, you are Samantha. You have no choice. You need to be Samantha because it's about your personality. You are very expressive. You know, you like to talk very easy, very open to people. And when they told me that, I said, okay, let me start watching. And I was like, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
it's
it.
a really cool series. I enjoy
Yeah,
it a lot.
it's amazing because it's about, you know, about sexuality, people, about relationship. It's very good
Hmm.
actually. Funny enough,
Yeah.
fun fact. When I was born, I am the first grandson from both sides of my family. Imagine the pressure on my
Oh,
shoulders.
that's
Imagine.
cool.
And my mom told me, said, William, if you would be a girl, can you imagine? If you'd be a girl, my name would be Samantha. Can you imagine how crazy? Yeah,
Oh,
she told
yes,
me.
that's definitely a a
So,
fate.
so there you go. I was like attached to Samantha forever. I cannot run away. I love your question. I love your question. And yes, I think it's yeah. Besides, you know, based on their point of views, and after I watched the series as well, I can tell that I've got a few things about Samantha for sure. And she's very good looking. She's sexy. She's very, you
Yeah.
know, express. I love it. And I think I
Yeah,
said
she's like older, wiser, and even in
absolutely.
the most open.
Yeah, she stole the scene. You know, everyone loves Samantha. Everyone loves her. I think
Yeah.
she stole the scene. And I was like, okay, I can be Samantha for sure. Amazing.
I always say to my wife that she's like Charlotte. She's like very
Oh,
shy,
really?
very, also like very, like, no, 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 you need to do this way, not this way,
I
like
see.
all this
I
kind of
see. How
stuff.
about you? Which one is more you? Which one is more you, do you think?
I think we decided that I'm the most like Carrie. Like I'm not like, as outrageous as Samantha, and
Okay.
I'm definitely not stuck up like Miranda. And I'm definitely and like I really vibe with the Charlotte. So I think the
Uh,
Carrie would be me, like the most creative of them. Not like just because she's like the main character. I don't think that I am the main character, but I think she's just like this encapsulation of like all of them. Like she like even just like talking with my wife, I would always like say that I would be like if it was like the Middle Ages, I would
uh-huh.
be like the best right hand to a king.
I see. You see,
Just like
we are almost Bundesheers. I'm Samantha, you are Carrie, and your wife is Charlotte. So we just need now
yeah,
Miranda now to
yes.
complete. Amazing. Other fun fact, actually, I met before Samantha, you know, the actress, I met her once. I was
Yeah.
working in a five-star hotel, and she came for a meeting with one of the producers. This after the series, yeah, it's been like maybe 10 years ago, something like that. She
Mhm.
wasn't, she came to the hotel and she asked something. I went literally to serve her. And I was like, oh my God, in my thought, I was like, oh my God, I'm so you, have no idea. I'm so you, like, it was fun.
Well, maybe the actress is a little bit
It's
different,
beautiful.
but the character is,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Jake, did you enjoy the interview?
Yeah, it was fun. It was, I didn't know really much what to expect, so it was a very interesting experience.
Thanks again. Thanks for being so kind and sweet. Accept my invitation. Since the first time when I approached you, you're very kind and very sweet. So thanks again. I'm so happy we connected because you know, of course, you are living in a country where you never thought about living, and somehow life took you there for this situation, what's happening right now. And I feel so happy to see someone smiling, making jokes, even though you're going through a not easy time. Of course, you need to leave your country for the reason that is happening now. Of course, everyone would be scared, would be a lot of feelings. But I'm so glad that somehow you're laughing, you're talking about things in a positive way. I love your the way you like and love wrestling, and your love for your wife as well. I think all of that you covered here, and I'm so glad that to see someone smiling and bring this positive vibe. I'm sure people watching this interview now, they're gonna see, my God, it's very inspiring for sure to see someone like you expressing the way you are, this happiness. I think it's amazing to see. So thanks again for being yourself, for bringing this good energy to the show. It was a pleasure for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. My pleasure, definitely.
Before you go, Jake, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
So I was thinking like what kind of quote or message I would send, and what always stuck with me is there's a Hall of Fame ceremony in wrestling, and there's this wrestler Scott Hall. He's already unfortunately died. He passed
Mm-hmm.
away maybe a few years ago. He wrestled as Razor Ramon, and his nickname was the Bad Guy. And I'm explaining this a little bit because the quote kind of uh, it kind of touches on his nickname. So the quote goes like this: "Hard work pays off, dreams come true, bad times don't last, but bad guys do."
Good one. I
Yeah,
love.
like every time I like to rewatch his Hall of Fame speech, and every time this ending comes on, it just gives me goosebumps. It's like so powerful.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks again, regards to your wife, to your family, to your sister and friends, and we keep in touch. It was really pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah,
Okay, keep in touch.
yeah, sure.
And I'll see
Thank
you
you.
sometime one day in Spain or Ukraine or in London. We keep in touch. We're connected now. All
Yep,
right.
yep,
Take
sure.
care. Have a good night. Bye
You too.
bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.